Have you ever felt like you're just not getting the most out of AI? You see the headlines, you hear all the hype, but when you use it, the results feel kind of meh. Well, today we're going to fix that. We're going to break down the huge shift you need to make to turn AI from a simple tool into a powerful, game-changing teammate. All right, let's get right into it.
So let's start with a picture in your head. It's Winston Churchill, sitting in his bathtub, dictating a speech that could change the course of history to an assistant in the other room. Now, he wasn't just barking orders. It was a back and forth, a collaboration. He had someone who got him, his context, his voice, his intent. For most of history, that level of personalized help was a complete fantasy, unless you were, a world leader.
But here's the wild part, that power, it's not exclusive anymore. What was once reserved for a head of state is now available to pretty much anyone with an internet connection. Thanks to generative AI, you have an assistant that can understand your context, that can learn your voice. That Churchill moment is literally at your fingertips.
And that brings us to this massive paradox. If we all have this incredible new power, why isn't everyone's work life totally revolutionized? The research shows this shocking disconnect. Even though AI can make things faster, less than 10% of professionals are actually seeing big, meaningful gains in their productivity. So, what is going on here?
Well, there's actually a name for this problem. It's called the realization gap. It's that huge, empty space between what AI promises and the underwhelming results most of us are actually getting. Closing this gap is what this is all about today. And here's the secret. The problem isn't the technology. It's how we're approaching it. To fix this, we have to make a really fundamental shift in our thinking. We have to stop looking at AI as just another tool and start seeing it as a new kind of teammate. And this isn't just semantics. It's a totally new way of working with a completely new class of technology. And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got the underperformer. They treat AI like a vending machine. You put a prompt in, you get an answer out. And if that answer is just okay, they either fix it themselves or they just give up on it. But the outperformer, they treat AI like a new hire. When they get a mediocre result, and trust me, they do, they don't quit. They give feedback, they offer coaching, they actually mentor their new AI teammate to help it get better.
And that brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway of this whole explainer. It's captured perfectly in this quote. The best performers, when asked how they use AI, say, "I don't. I work with it." That's not just a word game. It's a completely different way of thinking that unlocks a whole new level of results.
Okay, so the theory is great, but how do we actually put this whole teammate idea into practice? Well, this next part is a straight-up playbook for how to coach your AI and turn this concept into real action. All right, here it is. This is the single most powerful tactical shift you can make right now. You need to flip the script. Instead of you always asking the questions, you need to get the AI to ask you questions. Think about it. A good teammate doesn't just sit there waiting for orders. They ask clarifying questions to make sure they understand the goal. Your AI can do the exact same thing, but you have to tell it to.
And this slide gives you the exact blueprint. It's a 4-step prompt you can literally copy and paste. First, you give it a role. You are an AI expert. Simple. Second, you flip the dynamic. Ask me questions one at a time. Third, you give it the context it needs to actually help you, your workflows, your KPIs, your goals. And only then, after all that, do you ask for the output. This process turns a generic chatbot into a personalized strategist for your job. It's a game changer.
Now, when you start working this way, it doesn't just make you more efficient. It actually changes the creative potential of everything you do. It's all about moving past the first easy answer and aiming for something truly world-class.
I absolutely love this definition of creativity, and it came from a 7th grader. It's so simple, but it's so profound. Our default setting, especially when we're busy, is to just grab the first good enough idea and run with it. But real creativity is about having the discipline to push past that.
And here's the big trap with AI. It makes getting good enough dangerously easy. So if you just take that first output every time, you actually risk becoming less creative. The real pros know this. Instead of asking for one answer, they ask for 10 or 20. They prompt for volume and variation. Their goal isn't to get the answer. It's to generate a whole landscape of possibilities that they, as the human expert, can then choose from, combine, and make amazing.
So let's see what happens when a real person, a non-technical professional, actually applies these ideas in the real world. This is where the human element creates what is, frankly, an unfair advantage. Let me introduce you to Adam Reimer. He works for the National Park Service, and there was a part of his job he absolutely dreaded: the paperwork. A super simple task, like replacing a single carpet tile, could trigger 2 or 3 full days of bureaucratic filings. So he decided to aim his new AI teammate directly at that pain point.
So, how long do you think it took Adam, who, by the way, has zero coding background, to build a custom AI tool to automate this nightmare process? Weeks? Months? Nope, it took him 45 minutes. Just using plain English, he coached the AI to handle the paperwork that used to take up his entire week.
But this is where the story gets absolutely wild. Adam shared his little tool with other parks. The National Park Service now estimates that his 45-minute project is going to save the entire organization 7,000 days of human labor this year alone. That is the incredible, scalable impact of one person deciding to work with AI, not just use it.
So what made Adam's output so different from thousands of other people's? It really comes down to this powerful idea from the artist Lecrae. Inspiration isn't some magic lightning strike. It's a discipline. It's something you have to cultivate.
Look, at the end of the day, we all have access to the same ChatGPT, the same models, the same tech. The thing that makes the difference isn't the AI, it's you. A better output comes from what you bring to the table: your unique experience, your specific knowledge, your deep understanding of the problem you're trying to solve. That's the disciplined inspiration that you feed to your teammate.
So, as we wrap this up, the final question isn't really about the technology at all. It's about you. The AI is ready. It's ready to be your teammate. It's waiting for your direction, your context, your expertise. The only question left is, what inspiration are you going to bring to the collaboration?